Welcome back to another episode of the Planner Suite where we are talking about the budget.
Yeah.
We love diving into budget because people don't like to talk about this. People don't want to share how much they spend on weddings. Vendors don't want to share how much they are charging people for weddings. But here in the Planner Suite, you know that's what we do.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it.
And today we are going up north. We are going to Baltimore.
I want to say be more, but I don't want to rep it. I don't want to try and rep be more because I don't know. So.
Can you do the little Baltimore dances?
Oh, hell no. Definitely not. But they be doing a lot.
They do. They be killing it. So we can't really rep Baltimore, and of course we can't do the dances, but we do have a budget from a bride in Baltimore. The budget was sent to us, so we want to kind of dive into it. But before we dive into it, let's talk about the scene in Baltimore, the wedding scene. We know that the Baltimore is sometimes classified as the DMV.
That's too far. That's too far, Whitney.
Sometimes people, that's why I put my hands up, because sometimes people do classify Baltimore as the DMV. No? Yes, y'all do. Yes, y'all do. People do classify Baltimore as the DMV. So I guess like when we think about that, do we see very similar DMV pricing for Baltimore? Yes.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Um,
Higher or lower?
Well, honestly, this budget.
Lower. I retract my statement, actually. Baltimore can sometimes be a little bit cheaper.
I think so, but in some areas on this budget, I'm not going to lie, some things are higher. Like some things are higher up here. But Baltimore is not the DMV. It's not the DMV. I think that we get stuck on these cities that are around Baltimore, like Annapolis or I don't know. Is it Owings Mills?
Oh, yeah.
You know, all of those areas around that I think that we're getting confused and we're thinking Baltimore too close. You're teetering closer to Delaware and things like that. That's part of the other Tri-Cities, like the other side, you know. But with that being said, Baltimore scene, you know how people are like, oh, DC weddings, have a look. I don't know what the look is in Baltimore.
I don't either. I do know they be dancing now. They be
Baby.
dancing. I love working a Baltimore wedding because y'all be dancing.
And in Baltimore, the DJ's been on point in Baltimore.
Oh, I love
Honestly,
a Baltimore
this is
DJ.
for y'all DJs, finally. Oh, my God, because you guys were at my neck. They were like, oh, someone said, oh, they should have came to DJ for the Baltimore.
Yeah, somebody did say
Baltimore
that.
for the DJ, yeah. So,
I do love a Baltimore. Now that you say that, when I get married, I'm going to have a Baltimore DJ. Because they be getting it. I love a Baltimore DJ.
Y'all going to be over there on that dance floor dancing. Never mind, I can't say what I want to say.
You know what? We're not even going there.
Okay.
Just dive into the numbers.
Okay.
That's what the people want, the numbers.
Okay, so remind the people of the budget and how many people.
The budget is $55K, 90 people, Baltimore,
Okay.
not the DMV.
Okay. Happened. We started with 90 people, and it went down.
Oh, okay.
It went down, but yeah.
So what was the final guest count?
I think it ended up being like 68 people.
Oh.
But
Would you consider this a micro wedding? Micro is technically 50, 60.
no, but this is the issue with this wedding. They were contracted for 90 people.
Oh, so they still had to pay.
They still had to pay.
Yikes.
Yeah, yikes, big yikes. A planner should have like stepped in and kind of did, which she did have planning services, but it was like, oh, it's going to be more than this amount. Another thing too is the couple was nowhere near Baltimore. They did Baltimore because that was a middle ground for all family members.
Okay.
So it was like there was no ties here, and then the amount of people traveling in did not equate to what they thought. So it was like 68. So that's also to a lot of you guys who also have been saying, destination wedding. Yeah, until your peoples don't come.
Yeah.
So they don't have a passport.
One of my friends is doing a destination wedding, and I think they invited over 100 people. Only 40 or 50 people are coming.
Okay. Well, our producer had a destination wedding. How many people came to yours? They were 30 people. How many people did you invite?
6, 8, 80.
Okay. So invited 80, 30 total people came.
And honestly, for those, I would love to talk to one of these hotels out there in Mexico or something, because when you come with 30 people, they be hyped.
Mm-hmm.
They are hyped. They're like,
Top-notch service.
yeah, you sold out the whole venue.
Yeah.
They're so used to people doing these destination weddings with like 4 or 5 people. When you come with a huge party, it's like huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of couples choose sometimes a middle ground. Oh, can you hear that? Okay, so sometimes couples choose a middle ground for venue. So, like, if they have people commuting from 2 different areas, like, they may not want a whole bunch of people commuting 4 hours to the venue, so they pick something in the middle. So, this was a case with this couple that they were like, okay, let's pick Baltimore. It's right in the middle of the 2 different areas. I think it works. I think it's great.
I was going to ask, because I've never worked a wedding where they had to do that. Do you find that it works? Or do a lot of people still not come?
It does work. In their case, it did not work. I don't know why it didn't work, but it does work for most weddings where they do that. What was cool about this is they did get a room block. They had a few room blocks, but the couple didn't stay at the room blocks. Like, they got Airbnbs, and they stayed in Airbnbs in the city, and then they had their family in room blocks and things like that. There are a lot of different aspects about this wedding, and that's the beauty of it all, is like, it's your wedding. Like, you can play it however you want to play it, you know? So that's
and
important.
the people who will come will come.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this wedding, she had a planning package for $5,500. So she did that.
Is that full? Partial. Okay.
Partial for $5,500. For her save the dates, she spent $300, and she only did save the dates.
No invitation?
No. And I've had a lot of people do that lately. Like, they'll just send the save the date out with the wedding website, and all the information's up there, and it's like,
so then it's up to you to check the site for full information.
For everything else, and that's it. You RSVP as soon as you get it. You RSVP, and actually, this is kind of like a hack in a way. Yeah. Like, if you know your people, then you can go ahead and you can say, okay, I send it to them, they RSVP, take that information, and then go find a venue. You know, like, that's kind of a hack. And now they have all these cool things, like, I think it's text my wedding guest or something like that.
App, yeah.
And then, like, if you want to remind people, like, hey, check the wedding website, all you have to do is send them a text.
That's actually a good hack. Now that I think about it,
I just put y'all on game.
Because you can see where people's locations are, and it's like, okay, majority of people are coming from here. Let's do the wedding here. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can send a but what's actually kind of like not really about that part is that, like, if you send a save the date and you don't have a venue, but you find a venue you like and they don't have the date, then you're screwed.
That's true. I think you need to already be looking at venues and letting them know, like, hey, I'm interested in this date.
Yeah, so they know that they have the date, and then, okay, you send it out. Okay, so yeah, stationery, $300. She didn't have menus or anything on the table, none of that. That wasn't important to her. Venue. Her venue ended up being $25,100. So she had food and beverage, bartending, linens, all of her servers, all of those things, all in that price point. And
for bartending, did they have to supply alcohol, or did the venue?
No, this was full service wedding venue. So, like, they had it there, official. One thing that's really important to me for weddings is glassware. Like, if you're getting a drink, a wine, I want it in glass. Nice. I want it. So, yeah, they included all of that stuff.
Good.
Their photographer was $3,199 with a $400 travel fee. Okay, so
I'm interested to hear what the people have to say about that. What do y'all have to say about that? Because y'all love to
honestly
go in on us.
Yeah, I don't even really know how much people are really spending anymore on photography, because even
the
some of the
prices
top,
vary so much.
Yeah, even some of the top photographers, I'm seeing prices vary. So I don't know. I'm no judgment here. As long as the
one of my
pictures
friends
look good.
is getting married, and we were researching photographers, and majority of them said starting at $6,000. Like, their lowest package was $6,000.
I believe it. I spent around that amount for my wedding photographer too. She did not get a videographer. That was not important to her. She also did not get a content creator, but
Interesting.
her photographer got some shots
Okay.
of like content for her for that.
Now, if you want to do that, please talk to your photographer beforehand because everybody's not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't. It's no one's responsibility to do anything for you
Right.
on your wedding day. So if you didn't get a videographer or you didn't get a content creator, it's not the job of the planner to take those TikToks for you, your makeup artist or anybody. So like build it in if that's something important to you. We did not get a cake either because the venue provided a dessert option. So they provided like cheesecake, and the
Okay.
couple they weren't cake people, so they were just like, "There's no reason to spend the money on a cake."
Okay, good. Because I was listening. I was like, this couple didn't get nothing. except the
Yeah,
venue.
but what they did spend money on was they really wanted a band, which they
Okay.
spent $1,000 on a band. I mean, with cakes, I mean, some couples don't like cake, you know, so there's multiple things that's happening right now with cake. One, some people don't like cake, right? Some people don't find an investment to put that much in cake when you can go to like Sam's Club and grab a cake for $30. Like that's really, really hard for people to differentiate the wedding price of a wedding cake and a regular cake when the price difference is so
Right,
big, right? This couple in general just did not like cake, and their venue was already giving them a dessert within their wedding dinner package.
Right.
So like, oh, I'm gonna pay for cheesecake and then I'm gonna pay for cake. It just didn't really.
Which I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Please eat this cheesecake.
Yeah.
Especially with the way prices are for cake.
And also another thing is that this couple, like I said, they were having their wedding in a central location, so they were flying back to their home, and she was like, I don't want to fly with a tier of a cake.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
top tier. Yeah.
I don't blame her for that.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't like cake.
Yeah.
It eliminates that extra cost of paying for a cake. Because
Yeah.
cake is expensive.
It is expensive. So with them, like I said before, a band paid $1,000 for the band, which it wasn't really a band; it was more of an orchestra. So they played for her going down the aisle. They paid her
Okay.
first dance song, all of that stuff, $1,000. We're not there for more than an hour and a half.
Okay, that
Yeah,
was my
yeah,
question
yeah.
is
So
how,
it- yeah.
how much time?
And
Because
the-
that's low. I mean, not low, but I was
For
like,
an
it
hour
couldn't have
and a
been
half,
that much
yeah.
time, for $1,000. So
Yeah, you're right. It is low now that I think about it. And then a DJ. This is one of the highest DJs that we've talked about. DJ was a non-negotiable for this couple.
okay.
They spent $2,200 on their DJ.
Now we're interested to hear from the DJs because DJs do always have a lot to say when we do what's the budget, because we want to know if this is a price that you feel is accurate for a DJ, especially if you are in the Baltimore area. Is this a price that you believe, is accurate and justifies the cost of what a DJ does, which is what you all say, like you hype the party, you start the party, you play the music,
Yeah, absolutely. There's many levels to DJs, right? Not all DJs are the same, right? There's DJs that show up with a laptop. There's
Sometimes
DJs
with a phone and an iPad.
Yeah, with a
we've
phone.
seen that.
Right. There's some DJs that show up with turntables, like they're about to do something. They're about to DJ, what is it? Disc jockey.
Disc jockey.
Right?
They're about to DJ. Yeah, they about to get busy. They about to get busy.
Right. And especially in fucking Baltimore.
And if they got the big headphones on,
Oh,
they're
the
not
headphones.
playing. They're not playing.
The headphones.
If they got the headphones and the turntables, they're not
It's
playing.
done.
Like,
It's
and
done.
the laptop, they're not
They're
playing.
definitely playing back that ass up before toast. No one on the dance floor for
Exactly.
everyone on the dance floor for
starting
dinner.
off strong.
Yeah.
They don't. It's no intro music. They just going live into it. But then also some DJs bring the production piece as well.
Exactly. So there's levels. Okay, so we talked about it. We got a phone. We got a computer. We got the DJ. And then we have some of them bring uplighting. I see a lot of photographers add on uplighting, photo booths.
DJs.
What did I say?
You said photographer.
I'm tired. Cut it, Leroy. I'll do it
No,
again.
you didn't have to cut that. Just keep it going.
They're also bringing like the dry ice. They're bringing the sparklers. A lot of DJs I'm seeing rap floors now. I mean, y'all just do anything.
The DJs are hustlers.
Yeah,
The DJs
like,
are hustlers.
if it has something to do with where music is,
Yeah.
they're there. If people are on the dance floor, they want to
They
rap
bring
the
in
floor.
the audio books. The audio guest books. Yeah.
Yep.
Now that I think about it, DJs are hustlers. Like, they do not be playing around.
They be at everything.
Yeah. And you click on their site, it'd be like the add-on list is very extensive. Yeah.
Wait,
at this point, you bringing my dress too. You bringing everything.
I'm so mad at you. Especially if they're on Honeybook, you're like, you can add on like 80 different things.
It's like a long list of things that you can add on audio guest book, photo booth. Like, DJs be getting to the bag.
And then they got an app too, so you can put all your music in the app, which I'm not really mad at that as a planner.
Let me say this about DJs. I don't like that. I don't like a DJ that says, yeah, let me know what you want me to play. I hired you. You play what you want to play.
So wait, hold on. How did we get here? Because we was just on what's the budget.
Let's go back.
We need an episode on DJs.
We do.
Or the DJs that like, why are you a deer in headlights on wedding day?
Exactly.
Like, don't you see the bride at the front? Turn the music off. The bride just there waiting with the groom. And the music's still playing.
Exactly.
Like, you don't see that shit? What? And then they don't understand, like, why is there dead sound? Like, why is there no music playing, sir?
Oh, a DJ that doesn't play music all night irritates me immediately.
Yeah, like, put something on in between.
Some jazz music, some instrumentals, something. DJ needs to be playing something at all times.
Yes, but bringing it back to the DJ and then the price of the DJ. Lapel mics for the ceremony. I think I've done a wedding before where I did not clarify. So now this is the difference between the price of a DJ that might be charging you like $100 an hour or $150 an hour to a DJ that is going to charge you these thousands of dollars, right? When you have your wedding, you need to make sure people can hear you.
Yes.
Right? And you're going to use the DJ speakers in order to do that. A lot of people are getting DJs who don't have lapel mics or don't have the accurate mics that can go far enough from them, or no mics at all, and then your guest can't hear you.
Yeah.
And back in the day, when I first started, I had weddings where the guests could not hear. Like, I'm not a saint here. Like, I've learned, I've done this. It's very important to get a professional because you need all of those things. The mics and this is what the couple said, well, the videographer has a mic. Well, yeah, he has a mic for his shit. So you can hear it in your video, not for everyone else to see. You think your videographer
the people in the 12th row, they're not hearing anything.
Yeah. You think that the videographer has a speaker too? Yeah, let me just pull it out of his ass real quick and just put it up.
Yeah. So these are all things that affect the price of a DJ. So you'll see that fluctuation in price because DJs offer so many different things.
Right.
So choose the one that works for you. If you want all the theatrics and the cold spikes and the fog, choose that DJ. If you're fine with the DJ just showing up with the laptop, no turntable, that's fine. You choose that. You choose the DJ that works for you. And your price point and your budget. Right.
And this DJ did come with, I believe, like the fog and her cold sparks. So they did have those pieces as well. So that is a good thing. And then, did I even say how much we spent on decor? Okay, so she spent $9,000.
DJ caught us up.
Yeah. So she spent $9,561 on her decor, right?
Okay.
And I just want to bring this portion up about decor because this is not a lot in comparison that you see. The venue was very aesthetically beautiful already. We didn't have to add in pipe and draping or anything like that. She did have like a nice seating chart, like a nice big seating chart with flowers and stuff on it. But with that being said, like she just had floral. She used a lot of what the venue provided her with, and she omitted getting additional rentals because the venue had all of those items.
You know, now that I think about it, all the weddings that I've worked in Baltimore, the venues have been very beautiful, aesthetically pleasing. Baltimore, y'all got something going on.
A lot of museums there.
Yeah.
A lot of, nice, like historic places. Yeah. The only thing about a museum, not just in Baltimore, but just anywhere, you have to remember you have to work around business hours. So a lot of people would be like, oh, yeah, I want to get married at the museum at 3 o'clock. And I'm like, no, they're doing crafts with kids. Like, you have to wait until the day is over.
Yeah.
And then also you need to make sure, I think if you're getting married at a museum, just like a quick tip, make sure that you're actually getting a team, like no DIY with that. Like if your wedding is at 6, the museum closes at 4, that means someone has 2 hours to flip it. If they don't know what they're doing, they're going to mess up your wedding.
Yeah. Guests going to be walking in, they're still setting up.
Yeah. So just with those locations, just make sure that you have everyone with all their P's and Q's. So in this case, with this bride here, the issue that kind of happened was that she was contracted for 90 people, right? And when you are contracted for a certain amount of people, you can't just go back, 14 days before and say, hey, the guest count is now 50 people. So like something that I always tell my couples, right, is like, okay, if you think you're going to go over this guest count, right, there's a possibility, right? Let's contract for 75, right? Or contract for 50, but the ballroom can hold maybe 100 people. You're gonna hit the F&B minimum regardless because you're doing an open bar. F&B minimums sometimes sound scary when they say $10,000, but the reality is that if you're getting an open bar, you're gonna hit it. Once you do, and that's without your service fees and all of those other things. So I always tell people contract lower, right? But with the capacity, making sure they have the capacity to still hold if you go over. And then with that, then you can just add people because you're never able to take away once you've already contracted to that amount.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So not a lot on this budget here.
A total of $55K?
Yeah, $55,365.
Right. I think that's good.
So this budget was $55,365. And just a quick overview, this was planner, stationery, her venue, bar, food, her photographer, her entertainment, which is DJ and band, and then also her decor.
So $55K, Baltimore.
Yeah.
Contracted for 90 people,
But only had about 68.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So feel free to let us know what you think about that budget. Do you think it's on the higher end, the lower end? Let us know your thoughts about that breakdown that Amy provided. And as always, catch us right back here in the Planner Suite. We forgot to talk about something.
Talk about the planner app.
IO planner.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about, don't forget to go on our Instagram and subscribe to YouTube.
Okay. We ready to get up out of here.
Yeah.
Y'all were looking at the door.
Literally. Okay. So as always, of course, we broke down these numbers for you today with IO Planner. I believe it's the best way to break down your budget, even if you're starting in the middle of your process or even at the end, keeps you on track with all of your numbers and know exactly what you're spending on your wedding, birthday, social event, or corporate event.
Another thing that Our Planner does is that it gives you suggestions on how much you should spend. You put your budget in, and then they tell you that you should spend this much for stationery, this much for dress. That's another cool feature about Our Planner that I really love. So, if you are a planner, definitely check out Our Planner. If you are a bride who is interested in learning a little bit more about Our Planner, be sure to reach out to us with your budget. And we can maybe talk through that and work through that with you. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube. Watch, the full episode. Share it with any brides, grooms that you know, friends, vendors. And as always, catch us right back here in the Planner Suite. No? Okay.
Good.
I like that episode a lot.
Okay.
The DJ golden. First, the Baltimore thing, I was just like, yeah, and then the DJ part. Fine.
We did it.
Yes.
We did